Hey, this is video 3 of my series where I'm walking you through everything that you need for pregnancy to prepare for an unmedicated birth, or just birth in general, however you're choosing to do it, what I packed in my birth center bag, and now we are on the topic of postpartum recovery and all the essentials that you're gonna need, girl, to care for yourself. I had a natural water birth at a birth center, so all of these essentials are for a vaginal birth, and all of them are necessities, okay? I wish I would have prepared for postpartum more, because I had no idea how brutal it was gonna be, just being honest with you. All right, so let's go down the list of all the things that you're gonna need that are gonna be helpful. Highly recommend getting the Wish Garden tincture after ease pain. These are drops that go into water that you drink, because after you have your baby, your uterus is still gonna be contracting because it needs to shrink down. And when you breastfeed, it intensifies and it feels like you're having contractions even when you've been home for a couple of days. You're gonna get them for at least a couple of days, if not up into a week. If you drink this tincture in your water, it is gonna lessen the pain for you. I could majorly tell a difference when I drank the tincture with my water and when I didn't. So I always recommend drinking it. Also gonna want a sitz bath. A sitz bath is where you can fill up a tub like up to your hips. You're not fully submerged in the bath. You're filling it up a little bit with all these amazing herbs and this warm water, and it's cleansing and it's cleaning and it's healing your vagina. Also get a sitz bath off of Amazon, which I did, but then because I had to get stitches, my midwives recommend I didn't do that, because when you're sitting on the toilet in the sitz bath, the stitches can bulge out because it's like sitting and putting a lot of pressure on it. So I just did sitz bath in a normal bathtub. You're gonna want a heating pad for your neck, for your back, for all the things that are gonna be aching and in pain. You're gonna want a peri bottle, because every time you go pee, you're gonna be using that peri bottle. And inside the peri bottle, what you're gonna want is warm water, and I put witch hazel. So every time I went to the bathroom, it was warm water in the peri bottle and witch hazel. So you get just like a little basket that you put on your toilet where you have all these things, so it's easy for you to just grab whenever you're going to the bathroom. You're gonna wanna make padsicles, and I recommend making them a couple of weeks prior to birth. I actually should have added this to the pregnancy video. Padsicles are where you essentially are putting witch hazel, aloe vera, and lavender essential oil, if you want to, onto this padsicle. You're wrapping it back up and you're putting it in the freezer. And you're gonna use these the first 2 to 3 days after having your baby, because it's gonna cool the area for you when it's not feeling so good. Or you can just get the honey pot pads from Target that already have that cooling effect to them, and you don't need to add anything to it. I personally like that extra additional cooling effect from the aloe and from the witch hazel and the lavender, so I made my own padsicles because I wanted them to be cold. Get Dermaplast spray, but only use Dermaplast spray for a couple of days. I know that people use it for much longer, but it takes longer for your stitches to heal, and I know this because I used Dermaplast spray for weeks and it made the area moist, and so during my postpartum recovery, my stitches didn't heal as fast because they weren't able to dry out, and that's super important. So my midwife always told me, anytime you can just sit on your bed with a towel underneath you and just dry out, because you're gonna be bleeding too for weeks, do it. Dermaplast spray is a numbing spray though, so that's gonna help when you have pain from stitches. Highly recommend Colace stool softener, because your first poop after having baby is gonna hurt. I was on the toilet for 30 minutes and it was not fun, so make sure you get stool softener. Make sure you get hemorrhoid flushable wipes. I currently right now am suffering from postpartum hemorrhoids because of how you push during labor. Hemorrhoids are a wonderful thing that a lot of women get through that pushing process, and they can linger for weeks after having baby. I'm 6 weeks postpartum and I still have hemorrhoids, and so I'm doing all the things to help heal them. I'm using this ointment right here that I got off Amazon, Preparation H, suppositories, Tux pads. I'm doing all the things to help get flushable wipes for hemorrhoids. So after you have that first number 2 after baby, you can just throw it into the toilet. Depends diapers. These Depends diapers are going to be your best friend. You're going to be living in them for at least 2 weeks, and you're going to want the always overnight pads to go in the diaper. And again, you can put the padsicle to be your pad in the diaper for the first couple of days, because you're going to be bleeding into it and it's going to be cooling, it's going to feel good, but you don't want to change your diaper every time you go to the bathroom. You're going to feel weak, and it's going to be hard those first couple of days to put the diaper all the way down and pull it up, so having the pads is easy to just change out every single time you go to the bathroom. Silverette cups. Silverette cups are going to be for your bleeding, cracked, painful nipples that are going to come from breastfeeding. If you choose to, you're going to want to quit breastfeeding a couple days in or right away like I did, but if you're passionate about it, you can do it. And here we are 6 weeks in, and I love breastfeeding, and it's not painful anymore, and it's wonderful, and I look forward to feeding my baby every single time I get the opportunity to. But those Silverette cups really helped me the first couple of weeks, and I didn't have them right away. So highly recommend getting them in advance, because all you do is you just put breast milk in them, put them on your nipple, and they help heal your nipple for you. Also, in addition to that, the Earth Mama Organic Nipple Cream. You're gonna want this as well, because every time after baby feeds, your nipple is going to be in pain, it's going to feel sore, and so you're going to want to rub that on it. It's going to help the healing process. Now, 6 weeks in, I don't use Silverette cups and I don't use nipple cream at all, because my nipples are used to the stimulation and to my baby. But it takes time, and you're going to want these things because it's going to be painful. Make sure you have washable nursing pads. And also you can have disposable nursing pads. I have the Medela ones, so like these are the ones that I really like for just sticking into my bra going out in public, or the washable ones are great too. But then you have to keep doing wash to be able to keep up with the supply of those. But make sure you have nursing pads, because you're going to be leaking all over the place. And the first couple of days I was waking up in puddles of milk all over my bed, and it was disgusting, and we had to wash the sheets every single day. So make sure you have nursing pads, a comfy robe to hug yourself in to have, because you're gonna live in that. I lived in mine for literally the whole entire week, because I was topless pretty much the entire time after having baby, because of breastfeeding, because your breasts are in so much pain, you don't want to wear a bra. And so a robe is going to be your best friend. Cozy blanket and pillows to support your back. I still used my pregnancy pillow after having baby to help support my back, and a heating pad, because it is hard to sit up. Even in postpartum, I still continue to use all of my vitamins that I told you about in my pregnancy video. So my prenatal ritual vitamins, vitamin C, vitamin D, calcium, magnesium, and zinc. What I added to my postpartum healing and recovery that I didn't use during pregnancy is sunflower lecithin. This is going to help prevent clogged milk ducts. If you get clogged milk ducts, it can lead to mastitis if you're breastfeeding. Then placenta encapsulation. I encapsulized my placenta. I had a connection here in Florida. You can find someone in your area. Just Google placenta encapsulation in your city. Find somebody that does it, and they will take your placenta immediately after birth. They'll meet you at the hospital or the birth center. They'll take your placenta. They put it through a drying process. They chop it down. They put it into pills, pill form, so it becomes a powder. It goes into pills, and you take your placenta in pill form every day. Why would you do that? Well, after you have baby, all those amazing hormones that were in your body, that were feeding baby, supplying baby, all those things get sucked from you when baby leaves you. And so all of a sudden, you don't have any of those hormones anymore. So no wonder postpartum depression and anxiety and all of these feelings and emotions are running rampant, because your hormones are going crazy. So how you can help level and balance that out so that you can prevent postpartum depression and anxiety is encapsulating your placenta. And so it's proven through a lot of studies in women using this placenta encapsulation to be effective. It's not approved by the FDA, but just by millions of women that have done it, okay? So highly encourage it. And then finally, highly recommend getting catch cups for nursing for yourself to put on the other breast when you are breastfeeding your baby, because that side is going to still have letdown and it's going to leak. And so a nursing pad is fine if you just want that to soak up all the milk. But if you don't want to have to change your nursing pad every 2 hours when you're feeding, get what's called the LV Catch Cups and the LV Curve. You want both. The LV Curve is kind of like the Haka, where you can manually express against your boob and you can get milk out during a feeding. But the Catch, you can just slip in your bra and it's just going to catch milk. So you can wear it anytime throughout the day if you feel like your boobs are engorged or they're leaking. The Curve has been amazing now that my baby is sleeping longer stretches at night. I'll take the Curve at like 3 a.m. when she's not up yet and I feel my breasts are engorged, and I will use the Curve to manually express to help prevent clogged milk ducts, because you don't want that to happen. Okay, that is everything for postpartum recovery that has helped me tremendously survive the first 6 weeks. Also, I forgot to mention, I took the Taking Care of Babies sleep class. I took this my first couple weeks actually of being a new mom, and it was so helpful, and it allowed me to learn how to help my baby sleep longer stretches at night, because you're going to be up feeding them every 2 hours. And so once they're back to their birth weight after the first week, instead of having to wake them to feed every 2 hours, you can allow them to wake you up. And so what I did is I took the class and I learned all the tips that I needed, and now my baby is sleeping at night. She's giving us a 5 to 7 hour sleep stretch, which is amazing. Okay, so go connect with me over on Instagram at Sammy_Lisenby and let me know any questions that you have about this video. And we're gonna go into the final video, which is gonna talk about things that I am so grateful that I've had for my first month of having Lily, of having my baby. Must-have items that you are gonna wanna put on your registry, that you're gonna wanna have. These are just things that have worked for us. Every parent, every family, every baby is different, but I hope that I can add value in this final video of this series and share with you all the things that my baby has loved being a newborn.